Hello everyone, this is Taylor with Royal Gorge Anglers in Canyon City, Colorado, the Arkansas River's only Orvis Endorsed Outfitter and oldest fly shop on the Arkansas River. Thanks so much for viewing. Today we've got great conditions on the Arkansas. The river is receding rapidly. Flows are dropping dramatically. Right now we've got flows right in the 1600 CFS to 1700 CFS range in Upper Bighorn Sheep Canyon. Clarity 3+ feet all the way across the river in the Upper Canyon from, say, Coaldale up, and clarity a little bit less in the Lower Canyon just due to some springs that are running off from heavier rains 2-3 days ago. We expect those all to clear within the next 24 hours, really, and edge fishability and clarity is good enough in the Lower Canyon. We've had really productive days all the way down to really Parkdale in the last 24 to 48 hours. So we expect that to just get better and better. As of today, Saturday, the 11th of July, the river is back on track in a major way. We're seeing a ton of bugs out there right now. We're seeing a ton of golden stones hatching. We're seeing a lot of yellow sallies. Yesterday, I personally saw one of the larger yellow sally hatches I've ever seen on this river. Bunch of caddis out there. PMDs starting to show up really in the last few days. We're seeing green drakes, slate drakes, and gray drakes. Really, in terrestrials, tons of poppers because of how wet the spring was. We've really never seen this many hoppers before, so there are a lot of bugs out there, and fish are eating heavily. They've been unpressured and unfed for literally 6 weeks, so fish are feeding voraciously on the surface. Dry dropper tactics work well. Streamer fishing is excellent, especially out of the boat. So things are really on track here, and we expect for the remainder of the month of July to be just fantastic. If you're looking at coming in August and into the fall, we expect to have record number catch rates this fall just with how much water we've had, and the fishery is going to be in fantastic condition into the fall as well. But try to get here in July because, dry fly fishing, dry dropper fishing, streamer fishing, as it is now, is going to be fantastic through the month. Let's look at a few patterns. Like I said, in the golden stone category, we've got a lot going on. I like to fish a size 8 to 12 typically. One of my go-to patterns is the gold tantrum. Foam pattern, easy to see, supports a lot of weight. Another fantastic fly that's just a standby on this river is the chubby Chernobyl. Here's the gold version, again size 8 to 12. Here's the tan version with the black foam, size 6 to 12 in the tan version I do well with. One that you just have to have in your box typically is the Amy's Ant. We fish those a lot in a size 12 and 14. Like I said, a lot of hoppers out there right now. My number one hopper right now, my two best hoppers, but my number one hopper is the Moorish hopper. Just a great representation, looks just like the hoppers out there right now, green and tan. I also love, Charlie's baby boy hopper, and the Charlie boy hopper is great as well. Turk's tarantulas are fantastic also. It's hard to go wrong with the Turks with the red body. Easy to see, pushes water well, nice dry fly. we'll look at droppers here in a second to run off those big dries. Let's continue with hatches. Um, like I said, a lot of yellow Sallies out there. Clown shoe Sally is one of my go-tos, easy to see. When fish get a little bit pickier and you need a little bit slighter profile fly, go with the headlight Sally. Drakes, ton of drakes out there. I typically carry two colors, green and gray. The Film Critic being one of my premier patterns for the drake, kind of a flag done. Fishes really, really well. On the PMD side of things, and like I said, we've started to see a lot of PMDs in the last 48 to 72 hours. The Sprout PMD, pretty hard to beat. I mean, just a great fly. And then my favorite is the CDC Cripple. PMD fishes really well. I run it underneath a bit larger dry, maybe a caddis, something like that. Let's look at some droppers to run off those bigger dries, and we're running those anywhere from 12 to 16 inches under the dry right now. One of my go-tos, the Iron Sally, size 14 to 16, just a great fly. One of our guide favorites is a new pattern from John Barr called the Hair Copper in that gold color. We like that. And a size 12 to 16. Do really, really well with Guide's Choice Hare's Ears. It's hard to beat the Guide's Choice Hare's Ear right now as well. Covers a lot of bases, size 14 and 16. Epoxy back hare's ears are great as well. Mike Mercer's Epoxy back PMD, great PMD representation, fishes extremely well right now in the gold bead. One that's a sleeper that just fishes really well through July and August is the Hot Belly Pheasant Tail. I do really suggest you pick up a couple of those next time you're in. And then one last great PMD representation for a dropper underneath a big dry is the PMD Trigger Nymph. It's got that hot trigger thorax, and it just works really well. Let's talk about streamers, because the streamer game is great. Obviously, always trying to run tandem rigs. Like to run a pretty big attractor up top, a tractor streamer up top to get fish's attention, and then run a trailer underneath. One of my really, really favorite streamers is a new pattern this year, and that's Charlie Craven's Baby Ganga, and it really fishes well. It's a tandem fly, so it does have that trailer. It's a little bit smaller tandem fly, but in the tan and in the olive, fishes really well. Another new fly that has a trailer hook, so eliminates a lot of short strikes, is the Deuce Wigolo. Love this fly in black, and I love this fly in blue. Blue is a sleeper color right now, streamer color that just works really well, very visible to fish. Trailer flies, again, less obtrusive, a little bit smaller. I like to run these about 6 to 8 inches below that first fly. Heavy tippet on your streamers and short leaders. 3 to 5 feet of 1x, 2x fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon's a must for streamers. And then maybe 8 to 10 inches on the drop, 1 or 2x. Thin mint, really hard to beat. I mean, the thin mint is one of my favorites to run underneath. And then my other favorite, olive slump buster right now with that tungsten cone. Just hard to beat, John Barr's pattern. So that's a quick look at some bugs. I know I showed you a lot of bugs, but really there's a lot of hatches going on right now. Really good to have a small selection of each hatch, because you can get in a scenario where you've got a pocket of feeding fish that are specifically on PMDs, and then maybe you walk 100 feet to 100 yards downriver or upriver and you've got a pocket of feeding fish on yellow Sallies or on drakes. There's just a lot of that going on right now. Like I said, streamer's great. You can fish dry dropper upstream and then fish down with a streamer rig. I like to do that a lot with clients. or out of the boat, streamers all day. In my opinion, that's all I'd throw at the bank right now. Fish are still tucked against the edges. We expect for flows to be right in the 1,000 CFS plus range, maybe 1,000 to 1,500 CFS throughout the month of July, which is typical. If you look at historic flows are always above 1,000 CFS through the month of July. So, waitability is there in some cases, but fish are all against the edges, so it doesn't really even make sense to wait a lot. Put on your waders, or put on your boots and wet wading socks, just in case you need to get around some structure or whatever. But things are really looking great out there, and with the amount of bugs and no pressure on these fish for the last 6 weeks, fish are just going nuts, and fishing is really, really productive right now, and will maintain through the month of July, and probably we're going to expect one of the best falls we've ever seen on this river. August, September, October should be fantastic. Until we start to see heavy snow, I expect this river to fish really well, so maybe even into mid-November. Just due to the fact that we've had so much water and the fishery is so cleaned up right now. The bug, we've already seen this month, the bug, hatches are enormous, and there's a lot of bugs out there. So that's going to continue. So we expect to have a fantastic, late summer and fall as well, if you're looking kind of ahead at booking guided trips or setting aside some days to get down to the Arkansas. But like I said, don't wait. July is a great time to be here, and we look forward to seeing you. If you do have any questions, feel free to call us toll free, 888-994-6743. We'd be happy to answer any questions you may have with regards to guided trips, fishing conditions, etc. We are open from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. summer hours, Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Sunday. And, you can also send us an email at info@royalgorgeanglers.com. Again, it's been a pleasure to talk to you today about some fly fishing on North America's longest gold medal river, the Arkansas. And if you do have any questions, please contact us. Thanks so much for viewing. Have a fantastic day on the water.